Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Tokyo Necro. After 4 episodes of recording this video, or this game, I actually found out how to actually save the game, by the way. You access it by going to the holographic cube. This game is so, like, kind of high-tech for this sort of game. So I felt like it was so weird. I thought this was, a data recollection. Or maybe like an item database or something like that. Didn't know that I could actually just click on the cube like this. And then save the game. But yeah, the X is the... What is it? The H scene recollection. I don't know what the Z is. I think it's still empty so far. Oh, I guess these are... important scene recollections or something like that. Yeah, there's still a lot of them. I'm guessing... Like, this is the length of the game. Yeah, it's kind of nice that they also have, like, a scene recollection, not just for H scenes. Pretty cool. But alright, today is, Wednesday, actually, so I was supposed to record this tomorrow, but there was a package that I had to deliver, and, the delivery guy is going to take the package from my house. So I have to be here for him to take the package. So yeah, I didn't go to the gym today. Tomorrow I'll be going to the gym, and on the weekend, or technically Friday, I'll be skipping the gym because I always have a rest day before each gym day. And I'll go to the gym when I go with my sister to the hotel that we're staying in on Friday. But yeah, it's nice to have, to be able to actually save the game, because I've been using the quick save and quick load function for the last like 4 episodes. That's why you haven't really seen the title screen, because every time I had to play the game, I had to legit watch the opening of the game, like the first that opening cutscene with the bullets and then the girl waking up. So it kind of also makes me, what is it? It made me think about that scene a lot more too. Like, I'm guessing the guy that we saw on the opening scene was actually Sone's dad, because he had the same outfit. I thought it might have been Sone, but after that, it said something like, "Thus, the age of a new era begins for necromancers," right? And I assumed that was like during the era when, necromancers were first found, which was, I think, in 2150? So Sone's dad must be pretty damn old. But alright, enough about theory crafting. Let's actually progress through the game. It has been an unforgettable day for Hagio area. Wait, why is everything... I don't think I have actually read this. But yeah, last time we... Let me recap for a tiny bit. Last time we went to an arcade with Iria, and then Ethika had some sexy time with Olga, and then before that she was also talking to Kiri about her dad, and about how information about Tang Yunshan wasn't being directed to us. But yeah, nothing much really happened. There's still a lot of info dumping and world building in this game. So, not a lot of juicy stuff happening yet. But alright, let's continue. The stores, the food, the music, fresh delights awaited her at every turn. But it was Sone's presence which brought Iria the most joy. While he's lacking in social graces, it's clear to her that he's trying to treat her right. She may have an amnesia, but Iria is certain that she has never experienced a day like this one before. She wants to thank him somehow. But what would make Sone happy? Wait, we're actually in Iria's perspective this time. Interesting. Think. The car arrives at the agency before Iria can come up with anything. As she's reaching for a shopping bag brimming with doujinshi, thought there's supposed to be a U there. I guess it depends. Sometimes you use like a straight on the upper part of the O so that it has a nuanced, or not nuanced, but it's like a longer do, right? Iria is hit with a flash of inspiration.
これだ。
何か言った
Oh, first time I actually saw you with your normal attire, Son.
なんでもない。
Iria exclaims, shaking her head. She takes the bag in hand and steps away from the car. Son can carry the figures. As they approach the entranceway of the agency, Iria suddenly lets out a shout.
車に本忘れた。
え？
ちょっと待ってて、取ってくるから。
いやでも
いい？同人誌落としたりしたら許さないから。
ダメだ僕が
Iria foists her shopping bag onto Son and rushes to the parking lot. She reaches the cola count and slips past it. Might as well make it a surprise. Iria temporarily mutes notifications on her Conry, then opens a map of the surrounding area. The closest public printer is 20 meters from here. Son is not exactly quick on the uptake. She might just be able to get back without him noticing. Iria makes her way to the neighboring building. She's gonna make him something?
ここはやめよう。
The location indicated by our Conry is right next to a gay adult goods store. It's a bit outside her comfort zone. And who knows what the person before her might have printed out. Best to pass on this machine. Iria searches for the next closest printer on her Conry. I have a feeling Son's not gonna like this area.
さてと。
Iria heads out onto the main street and starts looking around. Yakitori? Thankfully, I just ate. I got some Wingstop. Now, where's the closest printer?
ねえねえお嬢ちゃん、なんか探し物？ちょっとシカト？返事ぐらいしてくれたっていいじゃん。
え？私に話してるの？
そうそう。よかったら一緒に遊ぼうぜ。
悪いけど私急ぐんだ。
Iria tries to shake the man off and hurry away, but...
俺は急いでないんだよな。
ちょっと触んないで。
大丈夫。ほら、俺んちすぐそこにあるからさ。
あなたの家なんて興味ないし。
すぐに出たくなくなるぜ。
The man begins pulling Iria toward a building. She tries her best to resist, but the difference in strength is just too great. He has a tight grip on her wrist, preventing her from calling for help with a multi-flick.
やめて。誰か助けて。
No one answers Iria's cries for help. Though many do hear her, they look away as if to say they don't want to get involved. I mean, if I were in, the passerby's shoes, I probably would have done the same. But then again, if it was like a hot anime babe calling for help, I might have helped. You know.
いくら叫んでも無駄だって。俺の彼女、いいとこの嬢ちゃんなんだ。逆らおうってやつはいないし。
Iria shrieks in fear, but her voice is drowned out in the hustle and bustle of Shinjuku. Sone's all the way back at the agency. There's no way he can hear her. The man starts dragging Iria into a back alley, when suddenly...
おい、何しや。
たく、ほんとクズだねこいつは。
After knocking the man out cold with a magnificent kick, Iria's savior turns to face her, clapping her hands together.
大丈夫？お嬢ちゃん。昨日のお姉さん。ありがとう。いえいえ、どういたしまして。
This might still be their trap, you know. Sometimes crime syndicates or crime organizations are pretty smart. You get someone to antagonize you, and then you save them, and then you'd be more inclined to follow them, right? Iria finds herself impressed by the woman's physical prowess. She was able to take down an adult man like it was nothing. Ethica speculated that she was a soldier who became impotent during the Sino-American War, but...
やっぱりオカマの人なの？
あら、私バレちゃった？なんで？お化粧はバッチリだし、言葉遣いも油断してないのに。ショック。
ごめんなさい。そういうつもりじゃ。
ああ、いいなあ、あなたは。若くて、可愛くて、こんなに胸も大きくて。
I feel like it's a bit too big, but that's personal preference.
あ、違う、冗談だよ。
Iria can't help but smile. Okay, so she's not offended. Ethica is certainly the sociable type, but Iria feels like this woman is approaching her more as a friend, an equal.
それで、なんでこんな夜遅くに一人で？昨日のお姉さんたちとはぐれた？
いや、それなんだけど。
Iria realizes now that she's acted recklessly, but no sense in hiding it. She tells the woman everything. It's a false sense of security, Iria. In an odd twist of fate, the closest public printer happens to be in front of Endless Summer, the hotel where Iria was confined. Since she's not printing out anything terribly intricate, a simple Conry scan is sufficient for her needs. After the data has been transferred, the printer finishes its work in the blink of an eye.
これで OK？
これでオッケー。
Iria takes the freshly printed object and clutches it to her chest. The prostitute gives her a meaningful smile.
プレゼントだっけ？
今日のお礼なんだ。
その人のこと好きなんだね。
Iria stiffens up.
好きとか、そんなこと言われても、あんまりよくわかんない。
そうなの？私はてっきり恋する乙女の瞳かなって。
嘘！
I mean, the BGM is peaceful enough, but I'm still pretty skeptical.
どれどれ？私にその目見せてちょうだい。
I don't trust you, prostitute with no name.
やだ！
即答？
即答！
Iria answers, puffing out her chest. The prostitute can't help but laugh at Iria's misplaced assertiveness.
ねえねえ、お姉さんは好きな人はいるの？
そうだな。好きだった人はいるけどね。
だった人？
うん。今は。
But they can still be revived with necromancy. Before she can finish that thought, the prostitute's jaw explodes. As she turns around, blood spraying everywhere, she shot 2 more times in quick succession. Her body convulses from the force of the impact as it collapses to the ground. Iria stares in shock, only for her vision to go dark. Arm after arm grabs at her as her body freezes in fear. The vivid red burns itself into her eyes, leaving an indelible stain in the back of her mind. Before she can even process what is happening, her captors cover Iria's mouth with a cloth gag and drag her away. When the burlap sack is taken off her face, Iria finds herself in a hotel room, the very same battleground where Son and the others fought against the living dead the prior day. The room is lit only by candlelight, but it's enough to make out the still wet blood and guts smeared across the floor. The stench of death itself fills the air.
どうしてあんなこと。なんなの？あなたたち。
A lone man steps forward upon hearing Iria's question. His face is covered by a burlap sack with just 2 eye holes cut out. Like a criminal waiting for his execution.
我らはスーサイドワナビズ。
死は我々を常しえの管区に縛る。
我らは首輝をちぎるものなり。
It's kinda useless for them to black you guys out when you guys have a sprite on the bottom left. Iria has heard the name Suicide Wannabes. They're a cult-like organization who believe that the advent of the living dead was a warning to society, that humanity should abandon growth and embrace its ruination. The most fanatical supporters of Milgram's proposed grave crusade.
あの人は関係ないのに。
死は福音なり。飲酒にただれ、生に出するをやめよ。
ただ理性のみを道しるべとせよ。
我らは生に抗う者なり。
我らは死に焦がれる者なり。
The hooded figures surround Iria all at once. Tang Yunshan would have had difficulty pulling off the kidnapping himself. He must have had accomplices. And what better accomplices for a necromancer than the Suicide Wannabes, who look up to necromancers as their leaders? Since Iria is in the care of Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency, I can't believe I said that in one single breath. Without stuttering too. It would only make sense for her to be a target of their revenge.
それは神の意志ではない。
The man at the front cocks his gun and points it at Iria.
それは人の意志である。
Why do they want to kill Iria though? The man next to him levels his gun as well. Iria's skin prickles with fear.
人の意志である。
This is a cult ritual.
人の意志である。
There's nowhere to run.
人の意志である。
They're going to kill her.
理性を受け入れよ。
No, please.
運命を受け入れよ。
Save me, Son.
死を受け入れ。
I mean, he probably has a tracker on you. An endless stream of gunfire rings out from throughout the room. But no matter how long Iria waits, she remains unharmed. She slowly looks up, embracing her trembling body. Every last suicide wannabe surrounding her has collapsed into a puddle of blood. In their place, looking down silently upon Iria is... Maybe it's not Son? Iria still hasn't returned. It's been several minutes. Okay, it's not Son then. It's taking her far too long to just retrieve something from the car. Damn it. The car's not even unlocked, so how could she retrieve anything from it?
見てきます。
I call out to Ryoko as I dash out of the agency. I made sure to only take Iria to places I knew were safe today, but obviously, the majority of Tokyo is a different story. And to make matters worse, we're in Shinjuku. A girl like Iria walking around by herself at night is just asking for trouble. She's not in the parking lot. I tried contacting her via Conry, but... I can't reach her. The connection's being refused. But she can't have gone too far away. Either that's not Son, or, you know, this is like the past. So we're taking a look at a flashback here.
Iria! Iria!
Passerby look at me quizzically as I shout her name. Not that I care. I keep calling her out. Appearances be damned. I don't know if it's anger or worry that clouds my mind. But what I do know is that this isn't like me at all. Even so, I can't help but yell. People, 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 and more people. I push my way past pimps, prostitutes, drunkards, and vagrants. There's a sea of people here, but none of them are the girl I'm looking for. The hustle and bustle of the crowd as they navigate the labyrinth of streets and hot pipes seems like a scene from an entirely different city. My feet freeze when I catch a glimpse of a figure crossing the street. A slumdog. A mechanical canine used by the military police to clean the streets and chase criminals with cameras. I do like the tidbit that they don't really have these tips on when you're playing as Iria. Probably because she has amnesia, right? So she wouldn't have known these terms anyway. Patrol robots used in Tokyo. In addition to monitoring the city with onboard cameras, they are often used to clean up corpses and chase after suspected criminals. Capable of self-destructing, producing an explosion with enough force to kill any human within a 2-meter radius. As such, it's become common to bait them into self-destructing using disposable living dead. It's holding something red in its mouth. A fragment of a cheekbone, glowing underneath the neon lights, with fresh blood. I run in the direction the slumdog came from until I come across the hotel I was just at yesterday. There's a lone woman fallen prostrate on the ground, without so much as a soul to attend to her. Half of her face has been shot off with a shotgun. Instant death. I calm my nerves and squat down beside her body. No, it's not Iria. Judging from her clothing and physique, she's probably a local prostitute. As I sigh in relief, I get a notification on my Conry. It's from... Oh, she's the one who saved Iria?
Iria.
I've regained some of my composure by the time I get back to the agency. I try to think of something to say as I look at Iria clinging to my legs. But Captain Nagisa interrupts my thought process.
軍警察を舐めるなって言っただろ。
彼女はどこに？
スーサイドワナビズに連れられてエンドレスサマーで殺されかけてたよ。
おとりにしたのか？
好きに想像しろ。
I glare at Captain Nagisa, but she shrugs it off.
次に隠し事をしやがったらただじゃおかねえぞ。
And with that parting threat, she leaves the room. Iria still won't let go of me.
Iria.
She's still shaking a little.
どうして僕に嘘をついた？
I ask her firmly.
君は本当に車に行ったんじゃないだろう。駐車場は監視もしてるし、比較的安全だ。どこかに移動して、そこであの狂信者に襲われた。そうだね。
そう。私。
Iria backs away, but I don't back down. This is a matter of life or death.
今回は僕が君を一人で行かせたのも悪い。あの時、もっと強く止めるべきだった。でも本職のボディーガードじゃないんだ。君が協力してくれなければ命の保証はない。この町はそういう場所だ。
ごめんなさい。
でもじゃないよ。もし次に僕の言うことを聞かなかったら、この役割は下ろさせてもらうから、いいね。
Iria will make eye contact.
はい。
She responds after a long pause.
ソウン君、そのくらいにしてあげて。
Ryoko comes in from the next room, seemingly unable to sit by and watch any longer.
イリアちゃんも、もう今日はおやすみなさい。
はい。
Iria slumps her shoulders and heads for the stairs. Well, I'm not going to say more to her in front of Ryoko. I don't think this is enough. If Iria wants to survive in Tokyo, she needs to be made well aware of why today's incident happened, and what she can do to prevent it from happening in the future.
どうしてかばったんですか？イリアは死にかけたんですよ。何をしようとしたのかは知りませんが、一人で。
一人じゃなかったそうよ。昨日帰りがけに話しかけてきた人いたでしょ。彼女が一緒についていって。
She might as well be alone. What the fuck, Ryoko?
巻き添えになって亡くなったって。
I recall the dead body that the slumdog brought me to. Right in front of right in front of Endless Summer. Did she escort Iria there?
イリアちゃん、彼女に守ってもらったらしくて、目の前で殺されたことにショックを受けてるわ。
どうしてイリアがショックを？
Ryuko casts her glance downward. I finally put two and two together. When you live in Shinjuku, death is always by your side. It's no big deal to see a dead body or two. But Iria isn't like us. She came from a place where death is something foreign. I don't know, man. She might have had amnesia, but... I mean, it's not like I've seen my fair share of dead bodies, but I've seen people die, right? Not really from, like, you know... Not really from, like, being killed or anything, but... I've seen people die from... Either, you know, just dying from old age, sickness, and stuff like that. I know it's different, but... I don't know. I guess I'm just a lot more insensitive, I guess, than Iria. I lie down in my bed and let my body sink into the springs. Only now do I realize just how tired I am. Mentally more than physically. Chasing down necromancers would be less stressful. Is tomorrow going to be more of the same?
Neo.
I turn off the lights and close my eyes. But I just can't fall asleep. Am I just too worked up right now? The optimal training regimen, the optimal diet, the optimal sleep schedule. My daily routine is dedicated to keeping my body in peak condition. Whenever a living dead appear, I re-kill them. When necromancers appear, I capture them, or kill them. I earn bounties in the process. Rinse and repeat. My life is rote. Rote? Is that how I say it? Predictable. Everything has a purpose. I mean, my life so far has been pretty much the same, so I do like to keep my health in check too. But so far, I still don't have, you know, a purpose for doing so, other than prolonging my life. My X-Brain ensures I act in the optimal fashion at all times. Rinse optimally, repeat optimally. I've never questioned my way of life. But now that balance has been upset, is that something to fear? Or...
あの
I hear a whisper accompanied by a light knock on the door.
そう起きてる？
イリア、
ちょっと入っていいかな？
いいよ。
The door creaks as Iria cracks it open and comes inside. Her gait is timid, even trepidatious. She seems ephemeral somehow. Is she not a hologram? Will she not fade away if I reach out to her? I briefly entertain such notions, as ludicrous as they may be. I sit up and pat the bed, motioning for Iria to take a seat. The bed sinks beneath her weight ever so slightly as she does. Ah, so she is real.
これ
After some hesitation, Iria holds out a book.
これは？
同人誌今日のあれコピーだけど
It all clicks. Did Iria sneak away to look for a printer to print out this book? She lied to me to keep it a surprise. I feel the pent-up anger within me suddenly dissipate. I let out a soft sigh.
さっきはごめん。言い過ぎた。
私が警察だったの。
怒ったりしてごめん。
怒るのは当然だし、ソウンもあんな顔するんだってちょっと安心したり。
僕だって怒るときは怒る。
Iria's expression relaxes ever so slightly. The knowledge that she's within arm's reach washes over me like a wave. Iria is right here, next to me.
一日中街中連れ歩いてもらってさ、いろんなものを見せてもらったのに。
I do find it a bit weird though that someone is really attached to Iria. There must be an underlying reason, right? And don't tell me about this bullshit called, you know, love at first sight. I don't believe in shit like that.
なんにも思い出せないんだもんな。
Oh, I thought she was gonna say the sorry son.
サブコンのことは
Oh yeah, we also saw Subcon in the last episode. Subcon, substance concept. The mysterious idol who suddenly appeared last spring to deliver songs of hope to the hopeless Tokyo. I did briefly mention that she might have been a prototype. Right, a prototype AI. And Iria might have been the perfected AI that was given a body. But I guess we'll see. Nobody knows who she is, where she comes from, or when she'll appear next. No form of security can stop her. She truly embodies the idea that to sing is to be free. She's become a regular facet of life here in Tokyo, but if you think about it, her existence is an anomaly.
わかんない。私にとって大事な存在な気がする。でも具体的には何も。
あのさ、ただの思いつきだけど、サブコンは君が作った？
違う。
Iria's response is forceful and immediate.
サブコンはそういうんじゃないと思う。多分。
Iria's a virtual environment expert. That said, if she were to make a virtual idol, something tells me the results would be more realistic, more convincingly human. My hunches do usually miss the mark. Yeah, so the real Hagyo Iria is probably not her, right? And this is an AI based on her image or something like that. At least that's what I think, so far. Iria plops onto the bed.
私のことが全然わかんないんだね。
それは心配しなくていい。僕だって僕が何者か全然わからない。
知りたい。
Iria suddenly sits back up. She sure is restless.
そう、よかったら君のことを教えて。
僕のこと？
ここで働いているきっかけとか、趣味は何かとか、休みの日は何してるのかとか、どんなものが好きかとか、好みのタイプとか。
A friend of mine actually, told me once that these type of girls who are assertive and, you know, usually are the ones that will, drag out the conversation are what weebs are attracted to. And I have to say, I think he's right. I think a lot of people who play visual novels are most of the time introverts, right? And I think they are attracted to the opposites, you know, like the opposite gender that are kind of like this, that are interested in what they're doing. Me personally, the more people ask me what my hobbies are, I'm okay with answering them, but I don't really have a preference whether I like these sort of people or not.
あと、彼女はいるのか？
Maybe when I was younger though, I probably would have liked Iria for doing this. So I guess it appeals to your emotions. Because, you know, when I was younger, I was a lot more lonely, I suppose. And I guess these visual novels are a good emotional runaway? No, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? But yeah, just like games, you kind of want to run away by playing them. For some reason, I can't find the word. I don't have any particular reason to hide anything. So I'll answer her questions one by one.
僕がここで働いているきっかけは 烏住一括さんだ。
一括？
涼子さんの旦那さんだった人。僕の両親が死んだ時、僕を引き取ってくれたんだ。
ごめん。
よくあることだよ。父は軍人だったしね。米中戦争では何度も死にかけたっていうのが自慢だった。それに父は近接柔術の創始者っても言われてる。
Sorry, I had to cough there. I take a sheet of papyrus out of my bedside drawer and show it to Iria. Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts, or CQAMA, begin as an offshoot of Extreme CQC. The general term for the melee combat style employed by the Self-Defense Force and military police. An enhanced form of CQC effective against humanoid operating machines and other non-human opponents. Serve as the basis of CQAMA. The Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts Training Unit was established to propagate the style more efficiently. The rise of necromantic tactics, or necrotac, provided a means for CQAMA to prove its efficacy in anti-living dead warfare. Necromancy tactics, a system of combat techniques utilizing necromancy developed by the US Army during the Sino-American War. By injecting corpses with lemurs, a necromancer can instantly create a personal army of perfectly loyal soldiers who do not require food or sleep and do not feel pain. Supplies were in short supply. That's a very weird sentence, but okay. In the jungles of Malaysia, the US Army sought to use necrotac as a means of tipping the scale in their favor once and for all. Unfortunately for them, the People's Liberation Army soon became privy to the secrets of necromancy themselves, and the conflict once again entered a stalemate. Thus, the jungles of Malaysia became the domain of corpses, a truly hellish battlefield the likes of which the world had never seen before. America faced outrage and scorn from international society, guilty of defiling the dead in the most abominable way possible. The Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts Training Unit came to be recognized as a leading special operations group throughout the entire Self-Defense Army thanks to its efficient re-killing of the living dead via the use of re-eliminators and X-Brains. There's my father, Nagaoka Takeyuki. I guess the left side? The one in the middle is way too much of a Chad. They're obviously like trying to not show us the guy on the right. That might be either Son or Milgram or something. Etika's father, Kibanohara Hokuyasu, and Ryoko— oh, okay, it's Ryoko's husband, Kara Suzumi Katsu, which might still be alive if they're not showing us his face. 3 people very close to us were all part of the Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts Training Unit. A group founded within Japan's self-defense force during the Sino-American War for the purpose of training combatants to fight using CQAMA, symbolized by dual re-eliminators, responsible for refining CQAMA further with the X-Brain. Nagaoka Takeyuki, Kara Suzumi Katsu, and Kibanohara Hokuyasu all formerly belong to the CQAMA training unit. The Kara Suzumi Living Death Stalker Agency would likely not exist as it is today without the Close Quarters Armed Martial Arts Training Unit.
父が死んだのはまだ僕が3歳の時だったから。体力作りや基本の総合格闘技、近接柔術を教えてくれたのは一括さんだ。一括さんは怖かった。トレーニングのたびに殺されるんじゃないかと思ったし、時高と一緒に事務所を脱走した時もあった。
Or maybe the guy in the middle is actually Katsu and the one on the right is Etika's dad, which we haven't seen yet.
今でも時々あの頃のことが夢に出るよ。僕と時高、2人がかりで一括さんに挑むんだけど、全然歯が立たない。何度も床に叩きつけられて、それでもかかってこいって怒鳴られて。泣いても吐いても気絶しても全然許してもらえなくて、転がってると容赦なく頭を踏みつけられそうになったりして。で、ヘトヘトになった後は、いや、そんな感じの夢だね。
I mean, if he was training you guys when you were a kid, that's pretty excessive. But then again, my views and my norms don't really apply to these fictional worlds because they are always in a state of, you know, life and death.
イリア、聞いてる？
聞いてる。
I must have been talking for too long. Iria's eyes are starting to droop.
それじゃあ、不幸運の趣味とかは？
Killing the undead? Do I have any hobbies, huh? Do I? Do I?
トレーニングかな。
If you were to ask me the same question, that's probably what I'd say too. But I also love playing rhythm games. No, I'm not sure that training qualifies. Training for me is like cleaning my guns, just another part of my daily routine. Something gives me the feeling that things you do on autopilot don't count as hobbies. But on my days off, I simply alternate between training and resting, so I can't really answer with anything else. I mean, depends on your sort of training. If you're just training to maintain your physical prowess, I guess that is not really like a hobby. But if you're training to, you know, be more powerful, to be more than what you are right now, I'd say it's classified as a hobby.
どんなものが好きか。そうだな。面倒のないものが好きだと思う。好みのタイプ。どちらかというと、痩せすぎよりも肉付きがいい女性の方が好ましい気がする。
Okay.
彼女はいるか。恋人と呼べる特定の人はいない。でも、コンスートは時々肉体関係を求められて。
Nikutai kanke, huh?
イリア。
It seems she's fallen asleep. I lay her down properly in the middle of the bed and tuck her in under the blanket. I suppose I'll have to sleep on the sofa. At least that's what they did in one of the movies Kansu showed me. I lie down on the sofa. It's quite a bit more narrow than where I'm used to sleeping. I can't even roll over. Hopefully, I can still get a good night's rest. I close my eyes as I listen to Iria's breathing. I still can't sleep. Probably because the situation isn't what I'm used to. Maintaining my body's condition is part of the job. Sleep is essential. Normally, I'd force myself to sleep with drugs. But for some reason, I'm not in the mood today. On nights when you can't sleep, you just need to read, right? I take out the book Iria gave me earlier. A flash of inspiration hits me. I have a better idea. I put the book down and take out my HMD. Oh, we're gonna see the virtual world that Hagio Iria created, right? I forgot the name. Something Beach? Sleeping beside me is an amnesiac girl by the name of Hagio Iria. And the name Hagio Iria also belongs to a famous virtual environment designer. So let's try one of her programs out. Her magnum opus is Midnight Shores, right? I search for the data on the mesh network using my Condry. There are versions with treadmill and multi-monitor support, but I'm just using an HMD. I choose the most lightweight build. I pulled up on a display once it's finished downloading. I put on the HMD and test it out. Iria's virtual environment spreads out on the screen before me. I find myself on a beach at night. I had expected scenery like that of a tropical resort, but that's not the case. The rhythmic susurrus... Susurrus? That's the first time I've seen that word! What the fuck? Big words. Of the surf is almost like a heartbeat. Off in the distance, I can see the lights of a city. Strangely enough, there's no snow to be seen. The midnight sea is the color of ebony. Where is this place? It's not of this world, and yet, somehow, I feel it's where we all end up. Every now and then, a wave comes up to my waist. But I don't feel the chill of the ocean water. Just the soft ebb and flow. There's nothing here but the quiet tide and hazy city lights. Why then do I feel so refreshed, so reassured, so right? Regret sets in. I shouldn't have experienced this through an HMD. I should have gone to a more well-equipped virtual environment facility. I take off the HMD. Hagio Iria is a famous designer. And now that I've tried her masterpiece, Midnight Shores, I can see why. I don't know, feels pretty normal to me. Then again, like I said, I'm not really one to appreciate beauty and artistic stuff. I only spent a few minutes there, but I feel incredible. There's no question that Hagio Iria possesses remarkable talent. But I take a glance over at the girl who has commandeered my bed as she sleeps. Is she really the Hagio Iria? Can something so fantastic really just happen like this?
Yeah.
Maybe it's okay for something fantastic to happen every now and then. As I gaze at Iria's sleeping face, I find myself wanting to believe in miracles. I think I'll finally be able to get some sleep. I legit thought he was gonna, you know, like, masturbate or something. Because in an old, like, H game that I used to play, that was what the main character did when he couldn't sleep. An explosion rings out in the streets. This is an area under the control of the Malacca gang. Nights are dangerous more often than not. Tasked with cleaning up these filthy streets are the mechanized canines of Tokyo, the slum dogs. They monitor the streets with cameras, autonomously dispose of corpses, and at times chase down criminals themselves. They command a high price, but are quite a valuable asset when the cost of corpse cleanup is taken into consideration. Slum dogs are primarily utilized in regions where criminal activity runs rampant. Like these streets. Their array of expensive mechanical parts make slumdogs an attractive target for gangs looking to line their pockets. To combat this, they are outfitted with a self-destruct mechanism capable of producing an explosion powerful enough to obliterate any human within a 2-meter radius. Losing a slumdog like this may hurt the city's budget, but the military police is glad to have criminals literally wiped off the streets. No matter what schemes the gangs may devise, the slumdogs are capable of outwitting them, thanks to a sophisticated behavioral algorithm backed by statistical analysis. By now, every criminal in Tokyo has realized that it simply isn't worth risking their lives to capture a slumdog. If someone were to attempt it, it would be...
Ah? クソボロボロじゃねえか。もうちょっと綺麗に壊れろよ。
何をしている？
Gijo Mitsumi calls out to the man squatting by the site of the explosion.
Huh?
The man turns around, offering Mitsumi a full view of his boorish features. The deep bags underneath his drooping eyes indicate electric signal drug abuse.
姉ちゃん、ちょっと待っててな。
Damn, like I said, this game has a shit ton of sprites. It's so nice.
俺も仕事が終わったら相手してやるからよ。
何をしていると聞いている。
Mitsumi's voice is very... what is it? Very... familiar.
見りゃわかんだろ。廃品回収だよ。
Strewn throughout the blast site are slumdog scraps, dead flesh, and dusky red blood. Nobody risks their lives to steal slumdogs, but risking their dead is a different story. Prompt a slumdog to self-destruct with a ghoul, and salvage the scrap. Logical enough. Even scrap metal is a precious resource when there's no reliable route of importation from outside of Tokyo. On these streets, human corpses may be trash, but robot corpses are treasure, thus giving rise to slumdog hunting. I mean, the name is, or the term is, basically the name for itself. The act of baiting a slumdog into self-destructing with a living dead and scavenging its remains for parts, slowly gaining popularity amongst necromancers. Junk parts fetch a pretty penny in the Tokyo of $21.99.
貴様
おいおい、姉ちゃんやめとけよ。
The man spreads his arms wide. With a wiggle of his fingertips, several silhouettes appear from the slums. A single glance is enough to know that they're ghouls. Yeah, even the ghouls are also some new sprites. Man, this game, like I said, I keep being impressed.
俺はネクロマンサーだぜ。
私の名は義城光美、政府公認のリビングデッドストーカーだ。
The necromancer scoffs at Mitsumi's introduction.
俺からすりゃただのうまそうな姉ちゃんだね。お前ら殺すなよ。
The ghouls rush in at their master's signal. It's safe to assume that this man is not a high-level necromancer. Mitsumi determines that employing swift, overwhelming force is the most efficient path to victory. A ghoul comes charging headlong at Mitsumi, limbs flailing. Predicting its movement proves trivial. She dispatches it with a diagonal cut, or kesagiri. The ultrasonic vibroblade of Mitsumi's katana, Soshimaru, rips through rotting flesh, cleanly bifurcating the ghoul. What is that word? Its upper half reaches futilely out to Mitsumi as its lower half collapses to the ground. The ghoul lets out one final gurgle as Soshimaru's blade pierces through the crown of its crown. Lemurs is a type of nanomachine that enables activity after death by reactivating the human cerebellum and brainstem. Hence, the brain is the weak spot of the living dead. Close quarters armed martial arts focuses on headshots in the interest of efficiency. But Mitsumi Soshimaru doesn't run out of bullets. A diagonal bisection immobilizes the living dead, allowing for an easy finish. Mitsumi is a practitioner of Atai, the advanced Taisha school of swordsmanship. Its core conceits differ fundamentally from those of CQAMA, an abbreviated term for the advanced Taisha school of swordfighting. The style of swordfighting practiced by Gijo Mitsumi, based on the Taisha Ryu school founded by Kurando Marume in the 16th century, pushes its concepts past human limits via use of reinforced bodysuits. Designed with the explicit purpose of aiding in real-world combat, practitioners are capable of adapting to any situation without hesitation. Declared an intangible cultural property in 2197. I wonder if Muramasa, like, you know, something Soki no Muramasa, right? That also came out not too long ago, I think about a year or two ago at this point. A friend of mine said that that game also had a lot of descriptions. I wonder if it's descriptions like this, or, you know, like, this game has good descriptions, but it also has good animations. I wonder if I would have enjoyed this game a lot more if they don't have the fights animated. In anti-living dead warfare, there's no room for even a moment of hesitation. You must keep whittling away your opponent's capability to fight without giving them an opening. Controlling the flow is key. As you fell the enemy in front of you, you must already be planning how to approach the next enemy. And as you plan how to approach the next enemy, you must predict how the flow of battle will evolve from there. You must read 2, 3 steps ahead. cutting aside risks as you clear a path to victory. Be quick, follow through, remain accurate. Once you've found a flow, your body will take care of the rest. I see our Ponsu there. I think it's just white. Thank you, cameraman. Mitsumi leaps into the air, dodging the floundering, dismembered ghouls. A vision of Nagaoka Soen flashes through her mind. Soen is a prominent living dead stalker, known throughout all of Japan, but Mitsumi has had the opportunity to witness his magnificent CQAMA personally. He rescued her from what seemed like certain death. What she felt then was not jealousy, nor deference, nor fear, but something closer to sheer awe. As if she had laid her eyes upon a work of art with a 1,000-year history. Is my technique as beautiful as his? Then again, I guess with a suit like that, you're not really hiding your crotch, are you, girl? With the final ghoul bisected, Mitsumi turns to the shepherd of the horde. The necromancer falls to his knees as Mitsumi quietly points her blade at him. Gone is any trace of the confidence he demonstrated earlier.
貴様は人の命をもてあそんだ。今さら惜しくはなかろう。死んで詫びろ。お前の仕事はいつも派手だな。
Kazuma grumbles as she watches a projection of solid scan data. Captain Nagisa Kazuma is known for being particularly violent during the interrogations. But oddly enough, she gets along quite well with Mitsumi.
その割に返り血を浴びているところは見ないけど。薄のろの戦いはしない。純白がお似合いだよ。差し詰め死の花嫁だな。死者の血は落とすのが手間だ。確かに。
Kazuma laughs, but Mitsumi didn't mean it as a joke. This is the only battlesuit that Mitsumi owns. She can't afford to dirty a vital tool of the trait that easily.
あの男は小便のついでに脱粉した。臭い。死刑か。最近有名なギャングでな、悪さを働いてた。見せしめに殺す。そうか。
A wave of disgust spreads through Mitsumi as she recalls the disposal facility in the old Odaiba district. I think Odaiba used to be a wharf or something, right? In Japan, anyway. The area around Tokyo Bay, no longer used as a residential district. Oh, it's a residential one. Afforded only the barest minimum of hot pipes, currently functions as an elderly disposal zone. What, so old people are dead there? What the fuck? Should she have just taken his life on the spot?
確認完了。いつもの口座に振り込んでおくぞ。次の仕事の情報を。
Kazuma sighs deeply. Mitsumi hasn't even confirmed that the payment for this job has gone through.
あのさ、みつみ。お前が優秀なリビングデッドストーカーだってのは知ってるよ。カラス組のとこは戦闘員だけでも3人いる。ところがお前は所長合わせてたったの2人だ。それでほぼ互角にやってるんだから、ほんと頭が下がるよ。でもさ、もうちょっとペース考えた方がいいんじゃないか。タンを長岡に取られた。こんな策を数をこなさねば追いつけん。いや、気持ちはわかるけどさ。
The exasperated expression on Kazuma's face shifts when she hears a notification from her conry. She places it up to her ear and listens to the voice on the other end, via cartilage conduction.
はい、なんでありましょうか。おります。はい、今連れてまいります。おい、みつみ。
Kazuma calls out to Mitsumi after hanging up. Her expression now one of consternation. What are these big words, man?
木場野原少将がお呼びだ。行くぞ。
Mitsumi's face contorts at the sound of that name, but she has no right to refuse. building boasts a sprawling view of the frozen Tokyo. City lights reflect off the relentlessly falling snow, forming a shifting tapestry. The dying city never sleeps. It will continue transmitting its meaningless signals until dawn breaks. Faintly illuminated by that light is the silhouette of the room's owner, Kibanohara Hokuyasu, standing with his back towards the door.
夜遅くまでご苦労。
I'm not a villain. Only a sliver of his face is visible. It is completely motionless as he speaks.
私は貴様のために戦っているのではない。
復讐のためだったな。死した死体を殺してそれでも生の実感を得られる理由が復讐とは皮肉だな。
Okuyasu's appraisal is coldly accurate. Mitsumi knows fully well that her fight is a fruitless one, that there's nothing waiting for her at the end of it. She has no rebuttal, and that only makes it all the more frustrating.
私をバカにするために呼んだのか。帰らせてもらう。
お前の仇が来るぞ。
なんだと？
Impossible, Mitsumi thinks to herself. It can't be. But Kibanohara Hokuyasu is not a man to tell lie or jest. The next words out of his mouth are exactly the words she's been waiting to hear for so very long.
ミルグラムが現れ。
He looks really tall, that guy. Is that some food? Damn it, Etika, you better not be doing something sexy again with a, with a random girl. I rub my sleepy head as I leave the hotel. Olga's stamina surprised even me. We ended up having sex until the break of dawn. The last thing I remember is passing out from sheer exhaustion. When I came to, she was gone, leaving behind nothing but a message.
また会いましょうか。
That's all well and good, but all I know is her name. She left without telling me where she lives or what she does for a living. And I don't think I've ever seen her at this hotel before. But for some reason, I get the feeling that we may indeed see each other again somewhere. And my intuition rarely misses its mark, you know?
この匂い。
There's a Pieroski food truck parked by the building. Is that a Russian food? I know this place. I think it's called Tsar Ptitsa? A food truck selling Pieroski in the Marunouchi area. Run by an older Russian woman of somewhat gruff demeanor. Has a second shop in Ueno. I sometimes get food from there on the way back from exercising at the hotel. It's damn good. Might even be the best in the area. The truck is run by a huge Russian lady. Man, even the fucking, like, shop owner here has a Sprite. So nice. The Russian mafia is in charge around this district, so it's got quite a Russian flair to it. As you can tell from what this truck's selling. The lady regards me with what I would describe as a scowl. It's not that she has it out for me in particular. She's just not much for small talk. That she manages to turn a profit is a testament to how delicious its pierogies really are. Apparently, baked goods are more popular than fried foods in Russia. I'd believe it, judging by this truck. The irresistible aroma of freshly baked bread is enough to make your mouth water. I actually like bread a lot more than fried stuff myself. Can't get enough of it, personally.
おばちゃん、全部一個ずつ。
Ryoko's face flashes through my head. That was a close one. It's an ironclad rule at Karasuzumi that we eat breakfast at the agency, then drink coffee during the briefing afterward. Ryoko wouldn't be too pleased if I ate here. And Ryoko's scary when she's mad. Like, scary. You could buy and just make them a snack sometime later, you know? I don't think these actually spoil after just one day or a couple of hours.
ごめんねおばちゃん、また今度。
I rush off to the agency, waving to the lady. Her facial expression doesn't change in the slightest. That was a brief scene. Iria stares in wonder as Ryoko prepares breakfast in the combination living and dining room. Her technique is indeed a sight to behold.
今度お料理の仕方教えて。
もちろんいいわよ。
朝から無駄に元気なやつ。
Tokitaka has low blood pressure. He's always in a bad mood, but he gets especially petulant in the morning.
イリアの元気を分けてもらえばいいのに。
あんなのもらったらバカがうつる。
なんだって？時高こそ話してたら陰気が映るし。
うるさい。俺のそばで70デシベル以上の騒音立てることを禁ず。
聞こ
あらら、朝からにぎやか。
おかえりなさい。
Ethika spent last night elsewhere. Glad she made it back in time for breakfast.
りょうこさんごめんね。昨日の夜帰れなくて。
いいのよ。朝ごはんには間に合ったんだし。
もちろん。りょうこさんの朝食を食べ損ねたら丸一日元気が出ないからね。
I agree with that sentiment. After breakfast, Ethika, Tokitaka, and I sit down with Iria and Ryoko at a table. We're drinking early bird coffee, of course. While it's easy to forget when watching her prepare breakfast, Ryoko's true position is chief of the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency. She's the glue that bonded this ragtag group of Living Dead Stalkers together and turned us into Tokyo's top team. I used to drink a lot of coffee, but I turned to tea now because I am caffeine cycling. If you guys don't know what that is, it means that I only drink caffeine before I do my workouts. Because if you drink caffeine, like, you know, even just a tiny bit every single day, basically if you have caffeine in your system, you can't really flush it out that well. And each time you drink caffeine, it won't be as effective. So that's why I cycle it. We couldn't have survived this long with physical strength alone. The back office plays a foreground role.
それじゃあ打ち合わせを始めましょう。資料解析の結果はどうだった？
After we secured the hi-fi Living Dead receptionist from the brothel, I performed a necro analysis at Snowbound Nirvana. Ethika was sent there yesterday to retrieve the results.
データベースとの照合の結果、あいつを作ったのはタン・ユンシャンでおおよそ間違いないよ。
おおよそ？
おおよそ。別のネクロマンサーが影響している形跡があるって。
誰かわかるのか？
多分ミルグラム。
Tokitaka whistles.
もしもタンユンシャンがミルグラムと共に副都知事誘拐を企んだとすると、腕が鳴るな。
ちょっと愉快な展開になってきたよね。
全然愉快じゃない。
I object.
それが本当なら、イリアはミルグラムに狙われてた可能性がある。
ああ、そっか。
考えすぎだろ。こいつがミルグラムに狙われる理由に心当たりがあるか？そもそもどうしてあんな街中のホテルに監禁してたんだ？タンユンシャンの目的は副都知事の拉致だろ？厄介事を2つも同時に抱え込む必要はない。
それも確かにその通り。
Overthinking things often leads to worsening the situation, so I understand what Tokitaka is trying to say. But as long as lives are on the line, I want to work assuming the worst case scenario.
でまあ、そのミルグラムが関与してるかもって情報をお土産に、とある筋と交渉したんだけど。
It's probably a major also. She's usually who Ethika turns to for matters like this.
そしたらどうも、軍警察のデータベースから消えてたファイルがあったらしいんだ。パイプランナーの写真には、タン・ユンシャンが池袋チャイルドプロテクトセンターの跡地から出てくる場面が映ってた。
チャイルドプロテクト？
治安の悪化、そして戦争によって急増した孤児に対応する形で誕生した 児童保護育成施設の一つ。
Tokitaka launches into one of his usual explanations, reading off of his hollow glasses.
乳幼児は軍警察病院が収容しているので、池袋チャイルドプロテクトセンターには4歳から12歳の子供が送られた。
So basically an orphanage.
経営開始から閉鎖まで14年。その間責任者、センター長はずっと同じ。古島道也という男性。センター長就任時53歳。
So it's basically abandoned now, huh? A former professor at Tokyo University acted as a center chief at Ikebukuro CPC for 14 years.
でも、おかしいな。それにしては情報が少ない。
Tokitaka's right. Nowadays, the mesh network is the foundation of daily life. Possession of a quandary is considered a fundamental human right. So naturally, any activity we do leaves traces on the mesh network.
イリア、どうした？
ちょっと記憶が。
As Iria groans in pain, the pattern she called a tone graph appears shining above her palm once again. Could it have been something to do with her memory?
おいチビ、70デシベル以上の声を出すなって。
知ってる！池袋チャイルドプロテクトセンター。私、多分そこにいた。
So are we going there now? There was a war. The reason was simple. Because the world went cold. Every nation kept talking with smiles on their faces. But underneath the discussion table, they were kicking each other in a desperate struggle. Tokitaka likes to joke around saying, Southward expansion? What century is this? But I don't get the joke. And I don't want to. I think most people are with me on this one. What happens if the war is won? What happens if the war is lost? Many young people died without ever knowing the answer. In Asia, it was the Sino-American War. Meanwhile, the Tokyo Computer War left city infrastructure annihilated, leaving the entire city unable to function. Mass panic erupted and many citizens resorted to killing each other. With its capital incapacitated, Japan was reoccupied and ceded the Tohoku region to the invading Russia. After a short break, the Sino-American War's main battlefront moved to Southeast Asia and dragged on until it became the Second and Third Sino-American War. The US Army introduced the use of the nightmarish bacteriological weapon RU-318, and then came the mutated Mar pandemic. A facultative anaerobe fungus discovered beneath the Siberian permafrost, highly deadly to animal life, interferes with protein biosynthesis and causes severe damage to soft tissues. A genetically modified form of RU-318 called RUB was developed by the US Army and used as a biological weapon during the Sino-American War. The Mar pandemic was caused by a mutated strand of RUB. With the birth of necromancy came the start of the Living Dead War. The living killed the living. The living killed the dead. The dead killed the living. The dead killed the dead. An endless cycle. One result of the war was the ruination of Tokyo. Ikebukuro was once a prominent, prosperous shopping destination. But now, it is a desolate danger zone, host to the Malacca gang's endless armed conflict. We're currently driving through the streets of this new Ikebukuro in a four-wheeled armored walking vehicle, the Strider, Armored Walking Transport Vehicle Model 88. Its main weapon is the electric firing caseless 30mm quad-mount autocannon, which toes the line of what is authorized for private Living Dead Stalker Agency use. It also has a 40mm grenade launcher. Both weapons can be remotely controlled. It can snugly seat 6. The military police deploys the same model number Strider, though theirs come with different equipment. Obviously, this is just for show. It's not like we're gonna start firing willy-nilly to assert dominance. Honest. I mean, look. We're just here to see what's up with Iria's memory. We wouldn't go looking for trouble with her around. We may be strong, and I mean strong, but we've received little to no training on how to defend others, so protecting an average citizen would be a Herculean task for us. Which is why we want to avoid any unnecessary trouble. Well, if trouble comes looking for us, that's another matter, of course. Damn, I'm not sure I've ever seen someone this tense. Well, let's just pray that nothing happens.
なあエチカ
Tokitaka turns to me from the next seat over.
ハイウェイで情報が見つからなかったんだよな。
ああ、その話。
工業エリアはネットで活動している。多かれ少なかれ痕跡は残るはずだ。ハイウェイに情報が見当たらないなんて信じられるか？
スーちゃんを疑う気？
I ask bluntly. Tokitaka shifts his gaze to his trusty weapon. A 20mm caliber anti-materiel rifle. I don't understand why they say material like that, man. Due to its strong, lightweight organic plastic parts, it's tough enough to withstand firing extremely powerful rounds.
関数は機械じゃない。人間だ。いつも公明正大に情報を伝えるとは限らない。
I guess that's true? Well, yeah, he's got a point. But that's exactly why I want to believe in her. But some part of me won't let me say that out loud. Deep down, I probably still have doubts of my own. And my instincts are often right, you know. The vehicle comes to a stop. We take a look around from inside the vehicle. The great tower before us was once a landmark in Ikebukuro, a symbol of prosperity. Now it seems more like a gravestone. Joining the base are buildings once used as shopping malls and hotels, as well as the Ikebukuro Child Protection Center.
みんな聞こえるわね。
はい。
もちろん。
感度良好。
大丈夫。
My orders are sent from my conry to the cartilage conduction speaker attached to my hologlasses. Someone should be able to receive his orders through his full-face helmet too. As commander, Ryuko remains in the armored vehicle. She looks so sexy in her battlesuit, but don't underestimate her strength. She's still part of the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency after all. She trains her body and takes custom-made, side-effect-free nanoparticle drugs too. She's mastered the basics of CQAMA and military-style CQB, close quarters battle. Her central and peripheral nervous systems have been equipped with combat implants as well. She's skilled enough that she'd be able to fight on the front lines for the military police without issue. I mean, I'd probably be able to with a bodysuit. There's just no need for her to engage in combat with necromancers herself, since we've got it covered. And I know I've said this already, but we're not planning on fighting anyone today anyway. We may be armed to the teeth, but it's just a precaution to avoid potential conflicts with any ruffians. Hopefully, nobody has to fight at all.
時高君は少し離れた場所の高所へ移動。建物全体、周辺を監視し、全員をサポートする。
了解。
ソウン君、エチカちゃんが建物内を探索。
君はここまでだ。
Someone shoots Iria down. Come to think of it, I heard Iria ran off on her own last night and got attacked by suicide wannabes. Kazuma ended up rescuing her, but it was a heck of a close call apparently.
でも
Iria falters but doesn't back down.
私ここまで来たら中に入りたいなって。
まあ確かに生殺しだよね。
たくわがまま言うな。子供か。もし何かあったら。
それを守んのが大人のお前の仕事だろ。
Can't really argue with that logic. Tokitaka backs down.
あのね、そう、うん。現場のひらめき、直感、記憶の早期、そういうものが欲しいから 私はここに来たの。実際に肉眼で見て肌で感じる。それが大事だと思うの。
I feel like we were talking about this in last episode's like scene, right? About how, you know, what would happen if you were to lose your memory? Would you be able to forget about your past self and continue on living with yourself? The thing is, my current self, if my personality is still the same and I have zero memory, I think I could just forget about my past self and continue on living. But the thing is though, I don't know if my personality would change if my memory is gone, right? Because the basis of your personality is your memory, right? If your personality is like changed on a completely, totally like a new person, then I don't know. Maybe I might want to try to find out who I am again. But if my personality is the same, like I said, I probably would just keep on living, not caring about who I was.
昨日は私のわがままで迷惑をかけちゃったけど。
イリア、本気で言ってるんだね。
うん。私は本気。
Someone falls silent at Iria's words, which I find a little surprising. Normally, you'd expect someone to say, I oppose the notion of bringing her along, and that would be that. But apparently, Iria's resolve is enough to sway him. Fascinating. Well, either way, we're not the ones making that decision.
りょうこさん、どうする？
イリアちゃんは直接現場に向かう。私はこの装甲車で待機。ソウン君とエチカちゃんはしっかりイリアちゃんを守ること。
Someone puts on his X-Brain.
ボスの判断に従います。
Iria's life is on the line here. Plus, I can't break my word with Kiri either. I guess I can't cut any corners here. Nice CG there. We exit the Strider and take a step outside. Alright, I think this will be our last scene before we end the episode. While we may be within the circumference of the old Yamanote line, the hot pipes here are in sorry shape. They get punctured so often by the incessant gang wars that the Tokyo government has given up trying to keep them repaired. While it's nowhere near as bad as the permafrost in the outskirts of town, you can see snows fluttering here and there when the weather gets bad.
良くない兆候だな。雪が降る前に先行するぞ。
Tokitaka uses his computer database to calculate the optimal point for observation and sniping and starts heading that way. Height differences are no issue when it comes to X-Brain guided sniping, so the best position would probably be wherever from the most physical barriers are eliminated, the top of the landmark tower. If only the weather could hold off for a while longer. These are the ruins of a giant, multi-purpose facility. In addition to the landmark tower, there are 3 large buildings connected by a 4-story shopping mall. What we're looking for is the 9-story building in the middle.
荒れてんな。
池袋 CPC が閉鎖されたのが今から6年前。それに合わせてショッピングセンターの店舗が一斉に撤退してるわ。同じ資本だったのかしら。
けど、たった6年でこんな廃墟になるなんて。
I hear a sound. Instantly, I cover Iria and draw my gun. My X-Brain calculates which direction the sound came from and points me there. Without hesitation, I point my re-eliminator, put my finger on the trigger, and...
何ビビってんだよ。
Out comes a slumdog. The cleaning light on its back is illuminated, and it has a severed arm in its mouth. I return my re-eliminator to its holster.
あら、素敵なダイヤ。
The fingers of the arm are adorned with gemstones, which are clearly synthetic.
人が住んでたの？
パイプの熱が届かないからそれはない。ただの構想だよ。
That arm in the slumdog's mouth probably belonged to a member of the Malacca gang. The arm looks fresh, even when you consider the natural preserving effect of the cold. On closer inspection, The walls are riddled with bullet holes, and there's broken windows here and there. After the development of Necro, the very nature of the battlefield was forever changed in Southeast Asia. The Malacca Gang is an especially violent group composed of individuals hailing from the region. 6 years of skirmishes like this would certainly explain the state of this complex. The slumdog disappears into the darkness, the cleaning LED sign on its back still lit.
じゃまあ私たちもさっさとお仕事片付けましょうか。
Ethica leads the group as we head up the staircase, completely cut off from the sunlight.
まだ上なの？
あと1階だ。
Ikebukuro CPC occupies the upper floors of the building. Since there's no electricity, we can't use an elevator.
たった5回で弱音かよ。
I know, right? Tokitaka's voice reaches our ears.
俺は60回登ったところだぞ。
あなたみたいな変態と一緒にしないでよ。どうせワクワクしながら階段の数でも数えたんでしょ？
Shut up.
どうしてそれを？
And you shouldn't be admitting that, you fool. It seems that Irya has figured out how Tokitaka works. It's good to see some understanding between them.
時高くん、そっちの様子は？
狙撃ポイントに着きました。いい角度です。周辺にも今のところ異常なし。気になるのは雪が降りそうってことくらいですかね。
Even if visibility is blocked by a blizzard, various sensors can be used to compensate, but that doesn't change the fact that you're losing optical information. We need to finish our business here as quickly as possible.
オッケー、異常なし。
We trust in Ethica's word as we head up the stairs to the 5th floor.
気味悪い場所。
I have to agree with Ethica. Dank air, encroaching walls on both sides, furnishings coated in a sickly green, rows of doors stretching into the distance. Utilitarian design focused on efficiency to the expense of all else. It's like a closed hospital ward you'd see in a movie, but even more oppressive. I can't imagine trying to raise children here. The very idea is inhuman.
イリア、何か思い出せることは？
Irya calls up that hologram with her Conry again and stares at it for a few seconds. But it doesn't look like anything clicks.
それは一体何なんだ？
よくわからないけど、これを見てると大事なことを思い出せる気がするの。今はダメみたいだけど。
Irya herself remains unsure of its purpose. It seems key to recovering her memory, but that's about all we know.
とりあえず施設を見て回ってみようか。
ああ、なんか変なの出ねえといいけどな。
Ethica leads the way down the dark hallway. Irya follows behind, and I make sure the rear's safe. The heat from the hot pipes doesn't reach this place. If you tried spending the night, you'd freeze to death. And it seems to be absent of any sources of light. I doubt there's any homeless people living here.
この辺りは職員のフロアかな。
Ethica leads us to a neatly organized room.
念のためソリッドスキャンをお願いできる？
了解。
Ethica takes out a 3-dimensional laser scanner. The lasers sweep the furniture and the floor, producing a 3D map of the room and its contents. Via AI analysis, we can determine if there's anything suspicious. There's nothing of interest so far. Irya falls silent. Oh, she's not done. The look on her face feels a little different from usual. But I probably shouldn't interrupt her while she's concentrating. All I can do right now is to keep watch of our surroundings and prepare for the worst case scenario. In the end, we don't find anything notable on the 5th floor. We relay that info to Ryoko as we head up to the 6th.
この階は医療施設っぽいね。
I feel like they're doing something to the children here. Maybe they're, like, hijacking their memory. putting implants or something. The solid scan reveals a needle in the corner of the room. While every last bit of equipment has been removed, the structure of the room indicates that some sort of medical procedures were handled here. But what stands out is that the entire floor seems to have been used as a medical facility.
確かに戦争孤児は医療環境劣悪でケアが必要な状態だったかもしんないけどさ。
This room is giving me some SMT4 vibes, man. There's actually a farm where the demons, or technically humans, are farming like human brains to make like red pills so that they can feed the demons so that they don't eat humans anymore.
ほら、この部屋なんてまるで観察室。
There's even a separate observation station outfitted with an optical isolator. Iria spent time in this facility? Dark thoughts churn in my head. Iria remains silent, a stern look on her face. Her gaze alternates between her tone graph and a medical facility stripped of its equipment. She's like a completely different person compared to her usual bright self. Did yesterday's events leave a mark on her? Ethica leads us up another flight of stairs. Next up is the 7th floor. On either side of the hall are lines of rooms furnished with rows of equally spaced tables. Among them is a room with a giant speaker like you'd see in a music room, a room with a giant screen, as well as several rooms with computers embedded in every desk. Ikebukuro CPC took custody of children ages 4 through 12. So it's not surprising that they provide compulsory education for those children. However,
気に食わねえな。
学校嫌いだっただけだろ。
そういうんじゃねえっての。
we look around as Ethica and Tokitaka exchange banter. But we find nothing notable. We proceed to the 8th floor. It's too thorough. Children once lived here, and in no small numbers. You would expect such a place to retain at least some signs of human habitation. But there's none to be found. They were too thorough in cleaning this place out once it's closed. There had to have been something here they were trying to hide. What was Tang Yunshan looking for here? How exactly is Iria related to Ikebukuro CPC? The 8th floor.
子供部屋かな。
The room is cramped and dreary. The walls and floor are all made of soft material.
どっちかっていうと教室。
監禁部屋の方が合ってるね。
All evidence supports Ethica's assessment. The Ikebukuro CPC is full of surveillance equipment, but not a single window to the outside to let in natural light. Doors can be locked from the outside, and the floors seem to be laid out in a way to confine the children to the upper floors. As a facility, it lacks for everything but security measures. This is not an environment designed to nurture children in. You done, Iria? Iria still isn't talking. She intently pores over every detail of the room. Seeing her like that snaps me back into focus. The floor plan of the 9th floor is exactly the same. An endless hall of isolation cells unfit to be used as rooms for children. Ethica takes a quick look through about a third of the rooms and gives the hall itself just a cursory check. And finally, the top floor.
This is
21世紀末までここは水族館として使用されていたらしいわ。取り壊されずに残っていたのね。
That said, there are no fish. The water quality seems to be fine. Perhaps the myrocarbon's still functioning. Damn you, mosquito. But without fish, an aquarium is just a water tank. Iria lets out a strained voice as she looks at the tone graph in her hands.
Iria.
I try to reach out to her, But Iria stops me. She's desperately trying to recall her memories of the past. That's why we've risked the danger of coming here.
早期阻害剤の症状に近いわね。逆行性健忘を人工的に引き起こす薬。
治せますか？
わからないわ。一般的にはそう効果は持続しないと言われているけど。
私ここ知ってる。やっぱり前に来たことある。確か向こうに。
Guided by her memories, Iria starts walking. Ethica and I follow carefully behind. Our field of view expands. Installed on the building's rooftop is a sprawling artificial shore, facing the sky as the snow pours down. It feels liberating rather than bleak. Perhaps simply because we were shut up in that building for so long. No, wait. Perhaps it's because it evokes the same sensations as the virtual world I visited last night. Once I confirm that there's no danger in our surroundings, I take off my X-Brain.
浜辺の風景。
似てるよな。
It's not that anything about it is tangibly similar, but the white sand highlighting the flower bed, and the contrast of the rocks on the other side, and the skyline of Tokyo in the distance.
私ここが好きだったの。だからいつもここにいてずっと波の音を聞いてた。いつか本物の海に行きたいなって思ってた。
ここをモデルに浜辺の風景を。
多分そうだよ。
So she is the real Hagyo area, and she really did lose her memories. What's more, she spent her youth here in the Ikebukuro Child Protection Center. Everything starts to fit together.
私ここに住んでたんだ。
I still wouldn't think that she's the real Hagyo area though, Son.
ここに昔。
So how old are you if this facility dies down 14 years ago? Or, I think 4 years ago? Iria looks up to the sky as the snow falls down. She smiles, reveling in the joy of rediscovering this place from her past. When I see that familiar expression on her face, I finally understand. Iria was silent all day because she was afraid. She wasn't sure if she would really uncover her past here. And she wasn't sure if she could accept it without regret if she did. Iria proclaims, her voice full of warmth. Her breath dissipates amid the cold snow. Iria seems whole now, complete. Seeing her like this fills my heart with bliss. I wouldn't be so trustworthy about that, Son. But I'm not going to continue the story for this episode anyway. I feel like this is what happens when I play like these sort of mysterious like visual novels. It always intrigues me. But sometimes when the answers are not up to par with my, you know, like overactive imagination, sometimes I get very disappointed. So I hope that this game at least kind of surpasses my expectations a bit. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. There's not really any new things for, you know, the 8 scenes for Patreon. But Patreon will still be getting these episodes early access, so if you guys cannot wait for the once a week thing on YouTube, be sure to pledge on that. I'll be taking a very short break. Probably gonna get some snacks or something like that. But yeah, this is how you save the game. Pretty interesting if I do say so myself. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, like I said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.